If you want to know what this is for, how this works, what this does, what the ride comfort is like here, and why it's so important that you use this on your test drive, then you're in the right place. You're just a few minutes away from being a pro on the 2022 Nissan Pathfinder.
I'm Justin Pritchard. This is the 2022 Nissan Pathfinder, and by the time you're done this video, you're going to know the most important things about it and how it all works, functions, and feels in real life. I'm also going to show you 3 interesting things about why this machine looks the way it does, so let's begin.
This is the 2022 Nissan Pathfinder in its range-topping Platinum trim grade. You get 3 seating rows with room for up to 8 occupants, a standard 3.5-liter V6 engine with 284 horsepower, 259 pounds of torque, and a new 9-speed automatic and intelligent 4-wheel drive system putting power to the ground. This machine is all new for 2022. It's the 5th generation Pathfinder. It's built on what Nissan calls their D platform, and it's made in Tennessee. In Canada, the Pathfinder model range starts around $44,000 for its S trim grade with standard 4-wheel drive, and my Loaded As She Goes tester finished in $950 worth of 2-tone Scarlet Ember tint coat paint with the black accents, looks the business, and clocks in around the mid-50s with all the toys. Specs on your screen, and I'll be back with more details and demonstrations on everything I just mentioned later in the video, but first, we've got to take a look inside.
Alright, so let's give you a tour and get up close with what's going on inside here, and then we'll cut to some footage demonstrating how the seating and cargo areas are laid out and how they work. So digital instrument cluster, very easy to use, very easy to reconfigure. You can see here some excellent looking graphics there as well. And just by using this little menu and interface here on the steering wheel, we can control what's going on up there. So just using the dial here, can flick up through the different displays and menus, and then using the left and right buttons here, we can call up just about whatever we like in that central screen there. So that's one way that this makes it easy to stay informed. The other, in terms of the safety features, is this blue button right here. Easy to find, clearly marked. It's the only blue button anywhere in the car. We press that, and all the safety systems kind of come to life up here on the screen. With that engaged, I can see which safety features are on, which ones are active. I can toggle them on and off if I like from that interface as well. That's your power tailgate, and this is for the head-up display. It's a bit tricky to get the head-up display in the daytime, but you can kind of see it floating there if I just move the camera a little bit. Climate controls, easy to use, logical, hard buttons, and pretty chunky dials and controls for just about everything here. Also, everything in one place. Your rear climate controls are here, heated steering wheel right there, right where it belongs, near the heated seats and ventilated seats for the front passengers. Got heated seats in the rear of this one, of course. Big chunky dials that'll be really easy to use even with gloves on, hard buttons for everything. You don't have to go up into a menu interface to do anything related to the climate control system. Android Auto in my case here, I just plugged my phone in down there, stays in that storage bin, connects up to here in just a couple of seconds. Electronic shifter, so we push the button here on the side, pull down for drive, it springs back, tap it back again for manual mode if you want. That's the paddles on the steering wheel here, right for up and left for down over there. Push the button for park, and reverse is push the button, click forward, and then you've got your parking system up here.
There's a decidedly chunky look that shines through the design, which I think gives the interior a more rugged and truck-like character, and that's repeated in the way it drives, which we'll get to later. Stitched in quilted leather helps add some high-end flair. Ditto the Pathfinder emblem on the center console lid, and a new silver and white Nissan logo on the steering wheel, which is wrapped in heated leather, of course. And while I don't find there's anything much screaming for my attention in here, styling-wise, Pathfinder's cabin quickly shows itself to be a comfortable, spacious, and upscale place to take in the drive. Note that some glossy surfaces inside look good but are easily smudged and scratched, and that while this crease on the passenger dash looks sort of cool, it's not really useful for storage since it's angled forwards. I'd argue that for the dollar, the interiors of the Kia Telluride, Mazda CX-9, and Hyundai Palisade look and feel more upscale in more areas, but the Pathfinder's interior does have an important trick up its sleeve which we'll get to in the next section.
All right, let's see how we fit in here. You saw how easy that was, just kind of a slide over into the seat. Nice slippery leather too, so not a lot of friction. Here's my comfortable driving position as a 5'10" guy, about 200 pounds or so. Nothing cramped, lots of knee room. I've got a soft pad right here on the center console, so if you sit with your legs farther apart touching that, nice and soft surface. Even with the panoramic sunroof, I've got well over the width of my hand in terms of headroom above me. Now let's get in the back seat and see how someone of my size would fit directly behind themselves in the second row. Almost just as easy. Hopping in back here. I'm sitting up a bit higher than I was in the front, little better view of the forward scenery there. Width of my hands here in terms of knee room. Of course, this slides all the way back there if you like. A friend was sitting back here the other day and insisted that I point out how much these seats recline if you want to sit back and sort of take a nap. And from this position, I can reach over and fairly easily adjust the other one. So we've got two seats here, one opening if you want the flexibility. This is fairly easy to adapt to any combination of cargo and passengers that you might want. Let me show you how easy or not it is to get into that third row seat. I haven't tried this yet, so let's see how it goes. There we go. Head ducked down so we don't hit the ceiling. Come on in, not too bad. Okay, now we've got this figured out. So if you're my size sitting back here, you're gonna want to make sure that this seat is pushed all the way forward to maximize your sort of foot space down here. It's slightly awkward because my feet are kind of jammed over a bit to the left to fit between the tracks. You could kind of sit like this or with your foot up on top of the track. Now again, for a 5'10", 200-pound guy sitting in the third row of a crossover like this actually isn't that bad. I've got cup holders everywhere around me. USB charging ports. The headroom's decent. I can sit back here with enough legroom provided someone shorter is sitting up here. So the point is, once you figure out getting in and out of this thing, actually not bad at all. I wouldn't want to be sitting back here for hours and hours, but it's completely fine. Definitely beats walking home in the snow.
I think the real trick up its sleeve is that even with all the tech in here, everything is logical and approachable and easy to use and find and manipulate. So getting full enjoyment from the Pathfinder's technology is easy, but getting full enjoyment of its powertrain requires you to make use of perhaps its most important feature, which is coming right up. The 2022 Pathfinder runs the 3.5-liter direct injection V6 engine that debuted in the previous generation model for 2017. With various updates, breathing tweaks, and friction-reducing engineering, this is a high-efficiency take on something Nissan's been doing well for a very long time, V6 engines. With a new 9-speed automatic arriving for 2022, shoppers coming from the last generation machine with its CVT transmission can expect a similarly smooth and refined feel to the power delivery during lighter-footed driving, as well as an improvement in throttle response and power delivery during more spirited use. This dial gives drivers the ability to customize the operation of the Pathfinder's powertrain for the specific terrain or driving style they prefer. Usually these systems can just be left in their default or automatic setting most of the time, where they just pick up on your vibe and call the shots for you. But in the Pathfinder, the changes triggered by the various drive modes have a significant effect on the drive, and you'll want to make sure that you try them out. In its default setting, the Pathfinder is all about delivering a lazy, low-revving, and relaxing drive. Response to your throttle inputs is numb. Upshifts happen early. The engine and transmission are working to keep the revs as low as possible, as often as possible, to the benefit of smoothness and noise levels and fuel efficiency, but at the expense of throttle response. This will suit most drivers most of the time, but sportier or heavier-footed drivers will find the feel here to be fairly sluggish and likely wish for more low-end throttle response. If you're one of them, you've got to be using sport mode and plenty of throttle pedal. The point is, things feel set up mostly for a light-footed, leisurely, high-efficiency driving style, not a spirited one. Things are quiet and smooth with the revs down, and the engine pulls you along adequately for passing and merging if you're not shy with the revs. Sounds good in action too. In all, it's a solid all-around performer, even if it is far from the snappiest machine you'll find for the dollar. The four-wheel drive system is fully automatic and requires no driver bandwidth in most situations, though in a few slippery driving conditions I noted more front-wheel slippage than I like before the rear wheels kick in to help, especially when booting it out of a busy parking lot, for instance. Flicking the drive selector into snow mode or sport mode can help get power flowing to those rear wheels more quickly in situations like these, another reason to be conscious of the drive mode you're using and to keep an eye on the position of that dial. If you're shopping in this universe, be sure to try the Mazda CX-9 and Subaru Ascent as well. They both have sportier drivers covered with far snappier low-rev throttle response and a more aggressive initial bite from their all-wheel drive system in more situations.
All right, so it's time to put all of that together and answer my favorite question: how does it drive?
High-strength steel lets automotive engineers build stronger structures that weigh less and occupy less physical space. For the latest Pathfinder, the use of this type of steel has increased by 50% versus the last generation model. That makes the vehicle's platform, its bones if you will, stronger, lighter, and more mass efficient. A highly rigid body structure helps make crossovers handle better, perform better in safety tests, deliver a quieter ride, and feel more durable. It's all about rigidity, and the reason that's important is easy to appreciate on your test drive. Just head to the roughest road that you can, and you'll see why. Even with the suspension getting pummeled on my worst-case scenario testing road, suspension and interior noise levels were kept nicely in check. The updated suspension works well to keep the Pathfinder's body motions from becoming too dramatic when the going gets rough, to the benefit of passenger comfort and driver control. Though you've got a few smoother riding options for the money on backroad surfaces like these. And while the Pathfinder's cabin had a few more clicks and rattles than I like for the dollar, when driving over rough surfaces, the overwhelming sensation in this sort of driving is that it feels like a tank. Rugged, rigid, durable, truck-like, and relatively unbothered by even nasty road surfaces. During my time with the new Pathfinder, I got the chance to drive it in day and night, rain and snow, on the highway, on the trails, and even through an intense early winter rainstorm. In all of those situations, it was easy to find confidence and peace of mind to just charge right on through, thanks in no small part to how sturdy, planted, and heavy this thing feels on the road. Elsewhere, its confidence-inspiring brake pedal feel and overall tidy and easygoing driving dynamics that work nicely in sync with that rugged ride for a machine that feels big and friendly almost no matter where you're driving. So let's check out 3 styling fast facts about the new Pathfinder. Number 1. If you look closely at the top of the new Pathfinder's grille, you'll notice these 3 slots, which are a nod to the original Pathfinder, subtly added here as a bit of a styling Easter egg according to design director Ken Lee. There's a second subtle nod to the shape of the original in the new Pathfinder's front end. It's a flat nose, almost like a wall, but look closely, and it's a chamfered upper hood edge that's swept back, another little touch that nods to the Pathfinder's design past. Number 3. Designers paid close attention to the shape of the door panels and instrument cluster ahead of the driver and chose these thick, blocky shapes for a rugged and tough look that also conveys a sense of safety and reliability. Surrounding the driver immediately by these strong shapes helps car interior designers make the driver feel surrounded, secured, and protected at the wheel. These 3 facts you probably didn't know about the Nissan Pathfinder's styling were brought to you by the like and subscribe buttons down below.
Well, that's everything that I learned testing the new Nissan Pathfinder for 1,700 kilometers right here in Northern Ontario. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button down below so you never miss a new upload. And until next time, take care and drive safe.